At a macro level, I think that sort of the trend like really is that this generation of entrepreneurs really does care about social causes, right? Like we're not needing to teach them that like caring about the environment is important, right? We're being given the opportunity to help them figure out how to build that into their organization. And the real trend that we see is that all of the students, whether it seems like a big impact or not, seem really engaged in that conversation.
The teams have to think about what the consumers want. There's one team that comes to mind at the team that's called Every Kid Gets a Robot. They make robots for students. And so originally these robots were made of plastic. They were not biodegradable, but the team was doing great. And they came to us and they said, you know what, we want to be more sustainable with our development of these robots. We want to make products with materials that are recyclable, so we can teach the students that we're reaching that sustainability is important to us because we know it's important to them. And overall, it's important to the environment as well. And that's something that they were able to do going through our program. So it's really neat to see them come full cycle and just turn all the way around.
There are definitely teams that I worked with over the summer in particular where they may not have figured out how to bake it into their venture, but it was one of the first times they were talking about it.
An easy way for us to tackle this in our programs regularly is that we see a lot of healthcare innovators, and healthcare innovators usually want to be solving problems that are difficult, right? There's a high incidence rate, and odds are that there's a lot of marginalized populations that are suffering from those conditions. So really making sure that your team that's innovating and developing the product captures the needs of that audience. And then similarly, if you have diversity of thought as well, you can not only identify different problems, you can identify different solutions to those different problems.
I remember we were working with one team over the summer, and it was a group of young ladies from a university, and they were just the most diverse group in the world and full of minorities. And they were, but when they did our DEI assessment, they realized that their team was not diverse. Their team was made up of young ladies who were very similar, same background, same goals. And so as far as their business goes, it was going to be difficult for them to reach anyone outside of their own demographic. And so it was great for them to realize their eyes were open, like, wow, we're actually not as diverse as we thought we were. It was neat to see.
It's true for all of us working in a remote environment that as teams grow, onboarding, getting to know your colleagues is challenging, and finding ways to keep up engagement is really critical for continuing to build and deepen that team and that culture that's being developed. I think we've seen a lot of teams are making the move, moving across the country to be together, to work alongside both each other and their customers. So rather than continuing to be remote, they're up and making that move.
They're forced to be pretty innovative and kind of thoughtful. And how are they going to show, particularly a physical product, to whether to a customer, a partner, stakeholder. And so they've gotten pretty innovative to do that virtually with videos, quick demos. I think, again, with everybody being virtual, being able to be on a Zoom call, for example, is a lot more natural than just a regular phone call. So the teams have kind of had to be creative and, well, how am I going to show a very large physical product if I can't be in person? How am I going to do that on video? So they've been, I think, thoughtful about that. And then also a lot of the trade shows have moved to be virtual. So I think that's opened up, especially for students, the ability, if they don't have to travel, but they can still be there. So actually seeing, again, it's anecdotal, but seeing from our teams that they've actually been able to get to a potential partner or a customer a little bit more easily than maybe in person, and been able to save some of their monetary resources.